Good morning and welcome to today's Top 10 Stars from TheMatrix newspapers. Tuesday morning, the 7th of July 2026. I am Esther Ajayi. From our lead story on page 2, over the PFIPC saga, the controversy deepens. Accountant General Kanta's presidency on existence of CBN account. Gbajabiamila fights back, sues Adeyemi 10 billion naira for defamation, lists demands. Falana faults arrest of Adeyemi's father and family friend. The controversy surrounding the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Implementation Committee deepened on Monday as conflicting claims and counterclaims over its operations continued to dominate public discourse, triggering renewed calls for greater transparency and accountability. Over to page 3. President Tinubu orders technology-led assault to crush terrorism in boundary. Says my administration is firmly committed to countering contemporary threats through emerging technologies. Declares DICON revival as key to Nigeria's defense self-reliance. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Monday declared a fresh offensive against terrorism and other security threats, unveiling a technology-driven strategy aimed at crushing criminal networks through intelligence-led operations, advanced military hardware, and homegrown defense innovations. Tinubu orders FCCPC to probe Meta, Google X over exploitation of Nigerian media. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission to investigate major global technology companies and generative artificial intelligence platforms over allegations of anti-competitive practices and the unlawful use of Nigerian media content. From oil and gas sector, federal government turns on heat on Dangote refinery orders after high-stakes meeting. The federal government is turning up the heat on efforts to bring petrol prices down. On Monday, it called a closed-door meeting in Abuja, bringing together the Dangote refinery, petroleum marketers, and other major players in the downstream sector, all in search of a workable plan to cut pump prices for PMS sooner rather than later. From the United Nations Hunger Report, ADC blames APC for worsening food crisis. The African Democratic Congress (ADC) has blamed the federal government for Nigeria's worsening food insecurity, citing a recent assessment by the World Food Programme, which says more than 17 million Nigerians are facing severe hunger across 9 conflict-affected northern states. Obi can't govern Nigeria, he still believes in Biafra, Modi Sharif says. Former Alu Modi Sharif has accused Peter Obi of pursuing an agenda to divide Nigeria, claiming the former presidential candidate has failed to clearly distance himself from the Biafra movement. From police update, Lagos police arrest 150 suspects, recover firearms in Igodo raid. The Lagos State Police Command says it has arrested 150 suspected criminals and recovered firearms, 100 unregistered motorcycles, suspected stolen items, and illicit drugs during a coordinated raid on criminal hideouts in the Igodo area of the state. Justice James Omotosho of Federal High Court, Maitama, Abuja on Thursday, July 2, 2026, ordered the forfeiture of 5 properties belonging to a former Minister of Power, Saleh Maman, who is serving a 75-year jail term for corruption. Over to entertainment news. Portable has defended First Lady Remi Tinubu over her advice urging unemployed Nigerian women to embrace small-scale businesses, insisting her comments were misunderstood. And from sports news, Spain send Portugal packing, England eliminate Mexico. Mikel Merino scored seconds into second half stoppage time, and Spain beat Portugal 1-0 on Monday to end the World Cup career of superstar Cristiano Ronaldo. And that will be all for now. You can read up the rest of the news from the Matrix newspapers and do stay with us as we bring you more updates from the Matrix news. I am Esther Ajayi. Do have a great Tuesday.